Hello and welcome to Tuesdays at 2 with Haven. My name is Julie and today I will be talking about Pantone's 2 color choices of the year for 2021. So let's go ahead and just dig right in here. We'll get started with our first slide and talking a little bit about the consciousness of these color choices that were made by Pantone. So as you can see, the 2 colors this year are going to be Illuminating, which is a yellow, and Ultimate Gray. And these 2 colors, as you can see I'm wearing them, were something that Pantone introduced into this color of the year. It's a bit of a balance of what we've been experiencing. So thinking about those colors and what they evoke, we've got the Illuminating Yellow, which is a color of optimism, prosperity. It evokes emotions of enthusiasm, enlightenment, abundance, and self-confidence. And then in your gray tones, you're going to have more of a, it's going to speak to more of things that are like more intermediate and nondescript, neutrals, things that are grounded. It brings up things that are also challenging and turmoil and privacy. So what you're going to see with this balance of these 2 colors is that Pantone was kind of playing off of the things that we had just experienced in 2020 and going into 2021. And they do this by actually starting their color trends back in 2019. So while they didn't exactly know how 2020 was going to go, none of us did. They did a really good job of tapping into it and bringing out the best of both of what we're experiencing and going into 2021. So in thinking about what 2021 is going to bring versus 2020, yellows, those tones are going to really evoke the excitement around the inauguration, having the hopefulness of the vaccine. And the United Nations did name 2021 the year of peace and trust. So they're playing with that, the highs and the lows of these 2 colors. The lows of that's going to be that we had to go through the coronavirus and the pandemic. The economy took a little bit of a hit, kind of a big hit, and there was a lot of uncertainty around that. But they really did nail it with the contrast of these 2 colors. And you're going to start to see that not only these colors are going to start to bring up in other places, but the selection itself was based on socioeconomic changes. So bringing that brightness and bringing in those grounded colors. And in color forecasting, there's a lot of cyclical trends. So colors tend to migrate in and then they evolve and then they change out, but they do come back again. When it comes to color forecasting, which is what this is going to be for Pantone's color for 2021, the color gravitates more towards the needs of what people are looking for. So if there's anything that 2020 showed us, it's that we're going to need more security, safety, health, and well-being. And the combination of these 2 colors really do play up and down with both those highs and lows. So let's talk a little bit about where we start to see these colors in our day-to-day lives. When you're looking at the gray tone, this comes in natural elements of the earth, in animals, it comes in materials like metal. So the inspiration for these colors is something that we use and we see very frequently in every single day life. Things that bring up emotions, some things that we connect to on a personal and empathetic level, and other things that might not have as much of an impact on you based on where you are in your existence. In terms of yellow and what we see in our day-to-day, we see a lot of that, and it's obviously going to be in sunshine. We have yellow in our lemons, birds, flowers, bees, fall leaves, fruit. So these are things that are very invigorating, and humans desire this a lot. These are things that are very needful in our day-to-day life when it comes to yellows. And that does have a big impact on us. So you can have a very gray day and put a, burst of yellow in your space, and all of a sudden it's going to brighten everything up. So yellow is really important in terms of what we're bringing up with these colors. Let's talk a little bit about how these colors of the year have impacts outside of just interior design. So Pantone is powerful with what they do, and it translates across many different facets, including things like fashion. So the fashion industry has caught on, and they've actually been a little bit above the curve. We're already starting to see a lot of the trends coming up that are grays and whites and yellows, very earthy, very sunshiny colors. Little pops are all you really need. Like I love that pocket square in the gentleman's blazer, and then the yellow pants. So you're going to start to see a combination of these 2 colors really starting to showcase themselves in places outside of just interior design. And that's because humans respond to color. And the way we respond is by what our eye sees, and then the interaction with the brain and how we incorporate that with our conscious and subconscious experiences that we've also attached to these colors. So you might like part of the gray and you might like something of the yellow. You don't have to like all of it. Color evokes different emotion for every single person, and that's all based on our life experiences as well. The yellow, however, is very reviving. And the color of the gray tone that Pantone chose, it's a little bit cold. So I really like the balance of how these two work together, and accenting it with a nice white is always going to be a way of crisping up any time of design, space, or fashion trend as well. And let's talk about where we can use these colors in various spaces. So the yellows, and I should also point out again that I want to reiterate that Pantone's colors of the year are mostly meant for your accessorizing and your pops of color, not so much as the color of the wall. So you don't have to do a bright yellow wall, but having these accessories and pops of color in various spaces, they're really good. The yellows are great for playful, active, and vibrant spaces. So like a nursery, a playroom, a kitchen where you have a lot of activity, people coming in and going out, enjoying a meal kind of space. Those are really good places for you to start to bring in some of your pops of yellows. As for the calming effects of grays, those go really well in the more restful spaces. So kind of like your family room where you're gonna sit down and have a little relax, in the bedroom when you're trying to just like call it off for the rest of the day. These are spaces where these grays are really gonna start to tone down the ending effects of your day. So good spaces to use for both of those colors. Now, in preparation for this Tuesdays at 2, I did call and talk with Mary Hoffman from Benjamin Moore, because Benjamin Moore's colors this year, while they don't specifically meet what Pantone has done, they still work really beautifully together. And Benjamin Moore is going to be your director for the colors that you should be putting on your walls. So their color this year is going to be this Aegean teal, which is really pretty. It has a nice balance of greens and blues in it, and it works really, really well with the gray and yellow tones that Pantone chose. So you can really start to build a very peaceful environment with these tones happening here. And you can see from their color trend board on the left, the palette that they've really started to work with is very warm. It has a lot of environmental tones and undertones to it. It's inviting and balanced, and it's very refreshing in general. Just that color itself is just really appealing, and generally very well received by most people as well. So here's a little idea of how to combine both Pantone's colors of the year and Benjamin Moore's. You could use your Aegean blue on the walls, start to accessorize with your grays and your yellows and really soften the space up. Again, adding some white in there, just like in that center photo with the light fixture. Those pops of white help to crisp it up and modernize a little bit, but you're gonna have a really nice balanced palette. I would call this nurturing and comforting for sure. I hope that you've enjoyed our talk today about the colors of the year from Pantone. I hope you've learned a little bit about how they've come to be and incorporating them with Benjamin Moore's colors to start setting your optimal 2021 space. We hope that these colors will refresh and bring you some new life and hopefully some prosperity in 2021 as well. And we are off for the next 2 weeks from our Tuesdays in 2, but we will see you just after the first of the year as we return every Tuesday at 2 o'clock with Haven. Thank you. Have a great day.